Welcome back to America's Voice Live on a beautiful Friday. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is making the case for a global minimum corporate tax rate. Now, what does that mean? We're going to talk about that in a minute. She says it's necessary in order to level the playing field in the global economy. Listen for yourself.
Together, we can use a global minimum tax to make sure the global economy thrives based on a more level playing field in the taxation of multinational corporations.
What it means is another money grab by politicians from successful corporations and people. That's my take, but we'll get somebody else's take. It's Terry Sawchuk. He's joining me from Tampa, Florida. He's on vacation, and thank you for taking the time. The founder of Sawchuk Wealth. Terry, thank you for being here.
Steve, it's my pleasure. And, what I took away from that, it's not quite, the headline is different than what I think she really wanted to get to. The headline about the corporate tax rate is important, but what's more important is a reference to Bretton Woods and her reference to digital inequality. And, ultimately what this is going to do is move towards a digital currency that's backed by central banks. Very, very different than anything we've seen before.
So I think it was Benjamin Franklin that said when you start having central banks, that's the end of freedom and liberty. What do you make of all of this? I mean, you're seeing them talking about raising corporate tax rates by 35% from 21 to 28%, going after S corporations, going after unrealized capital gains. I mean, if you have a gain and you don't even get money out of it, they're fictitious capital gains until you actually take the money, but they want to tax you on that. They want to have this global tax. Does it ever end?
No, this is the globalist agenda, Steve, and that's what's really concerning about this. The taxes are one thing, but think about this. If they get their digital basket of currencies, right, this global currency, they're going to do a couple things. One, they want to get rid of the commercial banks in the middle. And that I can understand after what happened in 08, 09, where the commercial banks blew up the financial system and then didn't distribute the money by loaning it. They took it, the money they got from the Fed, and turned around and put it back into U.S. Treasuries. So I don't blame them for not trusting the commercial banks, but the issue is they become so powerful because if they circumvent that system and go directly to the consumer, it means they control the flow of monies. They control how people spend it. They control how it's taxed. They can control the printing of it, and it goes on. And this is one step closer to communism, and it's really scary because it's nothing like we've seen during our lifetimes.
I agree, because the red flag to me is this, and you tell me where I'm right or wrong on this, Terry, and it's that the small business entrepreneur has an idea, wants to get something started. He can't go to the neighborhood bank. He doesn't have, now a lot of those relationships don't really exist the way they did 25 years ago, but they're still out there, smaller banks, and have a relationship with the banker and say, hey, will you take a bet on me and my business idea? That's all gone, because it'll all be, this number, that number, carry the one. I'm sorry, you're nobody, get out of here. And so it will destroy the backbone of the American economy, which is the small business. What do you think?
I think I'm not sure that that's what their end result, they want it to be, but I think it could happen. What I find interesting is that this populist revolt that's taking place, I mean, Trump was a lightning rod, but he didn't start it and he won't finish it. This global central bank concept is going to create a fight between the existing digital cryptocurrencies, a la Bitcoin and others, and the central banks, because I think the digital currencies out there like Bitcoin right now have gotten to the point where they've reached escape velocity. And so they're going to be too big to make go away, and they won't be able to stop it. And so it's going to be interesting to see how the flow of money goes between the central bank digital currencies and then things like Bitcoin and others, because the reason that Bitcoin was created in the first place was to get away from money printing and governments making bad decisions, taking on too much debt,
Correct.
And then devaluing the currency. This is an interesting fight that's brewing, my friend.
Well, in the fight, I mean, if the EU, for example, joins with the United States and Canada, or pick your players, and they say, we simply declare these cryptocurrencies to be illegal. When they're illegal, they fuel crime. They'll come up with a host of reasons. It's bad for the children. They'll have an idea of why they can tell you it's bad. It's bad for the economy and poor people get hurt. It's probably racist, whatever it is, and they will make them illegal. If that happens, what is the result?
I don't think it matters because they tried it all. And I know this is not the same, but they tried this in Nigeria, and the money finds a way around the rules. And at a certain point, this is the populist movement, is that people are sort of sick of this elite telling us what we can and can't do, and then turning around and doing the exact thing they tell us we can't do themselves. And that's going on all over the globe, from the Arab Spring to Brexit to the Trump movement and so forth. And so I don't think it's going to be just so easy to declare that they can say you can't use it, but they can't make it disappear. And that's the challenge. I think it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
So let me ask you one more important question, and that is, if they try to go down that road, if they try the squeeze play to force control globally, wouldn't that create more black market exchanges, more black market commodities, whether it's physical or virtual? I think people just go into the shadows more. And the black markets, you know this, they thrive in communist countries. They thrive in places where you can't have this, you can't have, you got back alley deals going on all the time where the back alley is behind your house or on your computer, right or wrong.
I think you're right. And if you go back and look, I mean, for a while they made it not legal to own gold, and yet gold didn't disappear. It's still there, right? So
right.
I don't think they're not going to be in a position where they can make it go away. I mean, Bitcoin right now has got a market cap of over $1 trillion. Crypto has a market cap of over $2 trillion. So that's a lot of money, and it's only just begun. And this digital basket of currencies that the Fed is talking to with other countries, it's probably going to happen within 5 years. I think the horse is out of the barn. So the reality for us is, what's going to happen politically over the next couple of years? I think the midterms are going to give us a very good insight as to what this battle might look like.
Well, Terry, it's something we're going to keep an eye on. I appreciate your insights because you have your finger on the pulse of these financial markets and a pretty good view of what the globalists are up to. So we'll keep an eye on it. Greatly appreciate you being here, taking a moment out of your vacation to educate us all. Thank you.
My pleasure, Steve. Thanks for the time, and I look forward to our next chat.